Hi guys, Rose here with the Cackling Moon. This is going to be a client's Stardust reading. Stardust readings are ones that I created where we are talking about pretty much where you came from, okay? Now, of course, facts can change. Well, facts are facts, but details can change based on your personal experiences, especially those of you who work with past lives and whatnot. So my whole thing is I pull cards and I relay to you what I'm seeing, okay? And with the Stardust reading, I created the spread myself. It's actually pretty darn interesting the way I created it. I was just inspired because I was really drawn to figuring out or wanting to know more about, the very beginning, your soul's very first experience. So I created the spread. That's what I'm going to be working with today, which is why I have the book out. It requires, let me see, 3 decks. So I'm going to be working with an oracle deck, which for you personally, for my client, I was seeing unicorns, okay? And I know that that's like really random, but I was seeing unicorns and I was feeling like that was like a gentle, perhaps an animal guide that is around you a lot recently, okay? So I pulled the magical unicorns deck because anytime I feel, see, hear, whatever, when I'm selecting decks for readings, I feel like it's a sign that that is what wants to come out for the specific reading. So for you, because I was seeing unicorns, I figured I better pull this as the oracle deck to work with. So I'm going to be using that. I also have color cards here because we check out the aura, what the aura radiates. And for you, I was seeing a lot of purples. So what I do is I'm going to be selecting the purple cards from this deck to read to you some of the messages, because I do feel purple is a very strong aura around you right now. Okay, so before I even started the video, because it would just be a lot of like silence, I literally sit in silence and I tune in. I usually repeat the client's name in my head, and I just allow myself to feel. Okay, so purple aura is what I'm going to be searching for. And then the deck, the spread also requires a tarot deck. And the Stardust spread, I created it specifically to work with the Starchild Tarot. This is a deck that I do not work with really hardly ever, to be honest. Every once in a while for me, but it is a deck that I do want to, continue to have out for clients, because I know it's a favorite. So I designed the spread specifically to work with this deck. So the Starchild Tarot will be the tarot deck we will work with, and we will see what comes out. So let me just get comfortable here so I could get all situated. And I'm wondering if this is going to be enough light. I could also turn on, I don't know if that's going to be a bit much. I could also turn on the other lamp if I want to. I just don't want to get hot. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start with the oracle card, because we're going to start with the oracle, and then we're going to end with the oracle, because that's just what I like to do. So the first card, if this book would like to come out, I don't think it wants to come out, maybe because I'm not supposed to use the book for this deck, but that is hilarious. Okay, so we'll just leave you there. I like to read the messages in the guidebooks as well for the oracle decks, but if he's going to be temperamental, then I'm not even going to try. Okay, so we're going to begin with your soul's vibe. This is the vibration of your soul at the very beginning. So before I pull cards, I just want to set the intention that for every card that we pull today in this client's reading, that this will give them some insight on the very beginning, when their soul began and their journey. Any insightful messages that should be heard, and that we trust that higher beings out there, aliens, are coming forward to bring this client's knowledge, some knowledge and some insight on stuff that my client already knows. It's just we forget. Our souls forget after every time we reset into a new life. Okay, so the first card that we got is Brothers and Sisters. Okay. There's a couple unicorns there. So brothers and sisters, and it is to get along with others, see the love and the best within them. So at the point of, and let me, I'm going to turn on this light. At the point of your soul's awakening, when your soul was first brought into creation, the main goal, the main point here, along with, I'm sure, other things, is togetherness. I'm saying togetherness and just being able to connect with people of all minds, of all races, of all, colors, just everything. Just being able to connect. Okay. It's not just brothers, sisters, as in we're siblings. It's everybody. Okay, so your soul and your natural ability to connect with people, and pretty much everybody, a whole sea of people, makes you a real vital piece. I'm getting the image of a puzzle, and there's like that center piece. That's how I feel you are. That's how you connect with people. If you weren't around anymore, there would be a noticeable hole in that space. Okay. You bring a lot of people together. You act as the glue. You act as the middle person to connect others. You may often find you fix relationships that are broken. You fix friendships. You reveal truths. That kind of stuff. Okay, that's the vibration of your soul. You are meant to be a connector. You are meant to be someone who brings together people, gathering them. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing there with the brothers and sisters card. So next we're going to talk about what the aura radiates, and like I said, I was seeing purples, which is interesting because of the card color. There's blues and purples in there. Probably doesn't show well on the camera because of the lighting. I have horrible lighting in here, but we make do with what we can. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the purple cards in this deck, because I'm going to read to you the messages. Since purple is the aura I am seeing for you. It's a very psychic aura, very connected. You have that gift. Your third eye is open. I think that's it. Okay. So first we have femininity. Femininity to me is embracing, what makes a what is feminine. Okay, what is femininity? I see a lot of emotions wrapped around femininity. We are very in tune. We are intuitive. We are nurturers. We care. We create. We have the ability to create with our bodies. So I'm feeling like to embrace all aspects of that. I also, as someone who is a connector with your soul's natural ability to connect people, I feel like you can see you walk in the gray as opposed to being black and white. Okay, so you don't have to identify with just one type of being or one mindset. You have that ability to kind of travel and adapt and connect with whatever you feel connected to. Let's see if I could do this here. I want you to be able to see more of the table and less of me. Okay. Magic inspiration. So lots of your craft, lots of your abilities to manifest comes from, the ability to have magic in your life, to create in that way. Inspired by the idea of manifestation, inspiration in the form of the craft, very occult-like thinking at a very young age and feeling. That's just natural to you. That's always been your thing, okay? Spiritual growth. Your spiritual path is a very important path for you, okay? Especially right now, because in the present, how I am seeing a lot of the purples, really wanting to strengthen the spiritual path, strengthening your femininity and your connection with being feminine, and then also strengthening your magic inspirations. What makes you feel magical? It doesn't have to be a literal magic act. It could be what makes you feel mystical, what makes you feel magical in that way, what makes you stand out from other people. Less logic, more intuition. Trusting your intuition more. When I see the purple aura, I see people who have, like I said, naturally, their third eyes are naturally open. They have that ability to connect with other individuals. You feel energies. You feel your own energy, which is the first act of getting familiar with that, is getting familiar with your own energy. But then also being able to feel out everyone else, okay? And opening up to experience, spirit and your guides and messages. And so then we have innocence. I feel like this is the way other people see you, okay? Because I know I've met you before, your innocence, it's there when I could see it as someone watching you. They would assume you were a very innocent person. But I'm not saying this as like, I'm not, insulting you or anything. I'm just saying there's more to you. There's layers deeper. But people only see shallow when we're, observing someone. So there's a lot of layers to you. There's a lot of layers to your life, your past, a lot of layers to your childhood. So the innocence is there, but I feel like it's also maybe a mask, okay? A mask of protection, perhaps, so people don't ask too many questions when they meet you. That kind of thing. And then we have allow emotions to flow. This is a big one because I feel naturally you're the type that will hold in a lot. I feel you will, like I said, that with the mask of innocence, you will portray yourself as one thing so people don't question, so people don't worry, so people don't want to dig deeper. And you don't let the emotions flow. I feel like you tend to block it out. Fear of having to open up, fear of having to maybe address some of the things that you had to go through. Fear of having to answer questions that you're not comfortable answering, that kind of thing. But you're being asked with the aura, the purple aura, to allow emotions to flow. And it doesn't mean you have to go and spread your secrets to everybody. It just means to allow yourself to feel comfortable feeling a certain emotion in that moment. Okay? Don't allow yourself to feel guilty for it. So, lots of strong messages with the purple aura. Very intuitive person. So next we're going to start with the tarot. And like I said, I don't work with this deck very much. So it's nice to be able to pull it out and pull cards. It's a very intuitive deck for me. Whoa. So. And it's also a really beautiful deck. I just don't connect with it as much as I would like to. But it's one of those decks that I refuse to give away because it meant so much to me at the time when I bought it. I know I will regret it if I do. Okay. So the moment the universe created you, we have the Four of Crystals. Four of Crystals or the Four of Pentacles. Whoa. The moment the universe created you is showing me lots of insights. Okay. You were being fed and you had a mentor. That's first thing that I'm tapping into. You had a mentor on the other side. Someone who was kind of feeding you a path that they had already gone through, and then you were giving the information so that you can move forward and finish a task that they didn't. So I'm wondering if you were being handed over the keys to being the connector of life. You know, they were filling you in on relationships that you were going to be encountering in your lives. And telling you that you have to be this connector. You will always be that person that will be the middleman. You will always be the person that would, you know, be the last piece to the puzzle. That your absence will be felt. You know, that sort of thing. Because that's the vibe I'm getting. The Four of Crystals is, to me, is also not even paying attention to the image here, but it's also a card of really holding in a lot. You're not easily open, which is, you know, pretty darn accurate when we talk about the some of the color cards that came through. Your inability to let emotions flow, that kind of thing. You are naturally, you bottle stuff up. That's like that just becomes natural to you. You will naturally bottle up your feelings. You will bottle up your thoughts. And I'm feeling it's a protective mechanism. It's just something that you do. It's natural for you. It's what you do to protect. It's what you do to spare yourself having to spill secrets, because as someone who is a connector, we often know a lot more of the stories of drama of people than other people, because we are those people that people come to talk to unload, you know. I'm one of those people too. I feel people will come to me to tell me their whole life story, even though we just met a day ago. So I feel for that. I feel like we know more information than others. And so it causes us to want to bottle up and not, you know, not be open. So I do feel that is also the thing. But I do see that there was a spirit being around you who was feeding you information at the point of creation. Okay. The Four of Crystals too, just generally looking at the card with the image, I feel like there's the elements that you work with are very strong: earth, air, fire, water, because of the four. So I feel the 4 is a big number for you, whether you see it in symbols or it's the 4 as if the 4 elements. So I'm seeing that as well. You work well with that too. Okay, your soul's purpose. We have the Hierophant. Oh, yeah. No wonder I was seeing so much purple in your aura. The Hierophant coming up is powerful. It's one that's telling me you're naturally spiritual. You're open. You're a vessel. You are a communicator. I mean, you can tap into spirit very easily if you really wanted to, if you opened yourself up. Notice again the orb. There's the orb in her hand, which to me symbolizes spirit. But you have the crystals, which are round. It just kind of looks very similar to me. I don't know. But I'm feeling like the orb in her hand symbolizes spirit. It symbolizes you have the ability to connect in that way. It's actually a purpose for you. You are here to spread messages. You are here to connect. You are here to be able to see. Like I said, you are a middleman, so you're a messenger. You are here, you know, let's say if spirit has a message and they want to relay it to someone else on earth, you are that middle person, a medium. Okay, that's what I'm seeing there. Hierophant energy, like I said, also a teacher, so you have the ability to teach others. if you wanted to go that route to teach others how to spiritually open, how to be connectors of spirit, how to communicate, you can do that. If that is a path that you see yourself embarking on, it's definitely a possibility with the Hierophant card coming up. Natural teacher, natural mentor. Okay. Next we have how to harness your inner power. So again, the inner power is what? Being a connector, being a filter, being able to receive messages. How do we harness it? The Eight of Wands. Just doing it. Just doing it. I also see this as utilizing the sun, or this could also be symbolized as the moon. I see the people who are gathered here at the bottom. It's kind of like a ritual. It's a coven. It's a group of people utilizing their energy. Again, we have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I feel like that's symbolic for utilizing all of the elements as well. Okay. 4 is a very powerful number for you. If you see with the Eight of Wands, there's 4 wands on this side, 4 wands here. Like, I'm just throwing this stuff out because this is what's coming to me, but I do feel 4 is a number. It's a significant number for you. But I feel with the Eight of Wands, Eight of Wands naturally is a message of just going for it. It's a green light. It is, you know, just doing it. That's basically the message of Eight of Wands. But from the card, what I'm seeing, it's utilizing the sun's energy, or this could be also looked at as the moon, using your elements, earth, air, fire, water, and just connecting with, you would be the spirit source in that, because obviously it's earth, air, fire, water, and then there's spirit, but that would be you. But utilizing all of that, okay? Working with others, maybe you will start a group, a meetup group or something where you guys will talk about connecting with spirit, and maybe you'll have 3 other students and it'll be 4. That's just something I'm throwing out there. If that is a possibility, okay? So how to harness your inner power, utilizing the energies, having a group, maybe being a teacher, teaching. Obviously, when we're teaching something that we already know, we become more powerful in it because we're utilizing it, we're doing it, okay? The impacts that you leave on others. We have a Starseed card, which is the Fool card in the Starchild Tarot, but in general, the Starseed card, how do you impact others? You are a teacher. You are someone who's highly looked at. You're magical. You have just the genetic code of being a starseed. You are natural. You are on a path of being yourself. If you've ever questioned being starseed, I feel like that is enough information to say so. If you naturally feel it, then you are, that kind of thing. If you feel connected in that way, your gentleness, your connector status there, being the medium or the middleman, that centerpiece to the puzzle. It's just been ingrained in you from the very beginning. Again, I see like the orb of light, orbs, okay? It's just something that's sticking out. So the impact that you leave on others as a starseed, you have answers to questions that maybe you didn't think you ever had. It just naturally comes to you because they're natural downloads that come. You will awaken, you wake up, you remember, okay? And then in general with the Fool card, because the Starseed is the Fool card in this deck, your impact on others is you give them that burst of inspiration to want to embark on their own journeys. You make them feel like what they're doing is legit. People don't feel silly talking to you about, topics of unicorns or spirit or whatever. You make it feel natural. Okay, you give them that purpose. So a very major impact. You are definitely a big impact on people. You are definitely like that big piece to the puzzle. Very important. So remember that, because I feel like sometimes you forget, or sometimes you don't think that you're that important, or you don't mean that much. A direction that you are headed. The Emperor. Being a leader, definitely. Again, with the Hierophant card, Emperor card is very strong. Also, the Emperor card is the 4th card in the tarot. So again, we have number 4. Okay. Solid, being stable, foundation, being brave, being courageous, a leader, somebody who's not afraid to take charge. I am seeing that completely for the direction that you're headed. Maybe impacting someone else, you know, working with people of higher status. If you do begin teaching classes, or you do, you know, you do more with your natural ability to communicate with the dead, that kind of thing, it would lead in other directions. But I just feel like it's a powerful card. Leadership, a lot of self-confidence boosts, which is also a thing I feel you need more of. Which is probably what you need more of in order to embark on a path like this. Embracing your natural gifts, reopening yourself up, because I feel like sometimes you tend to close it off because you don't know what to do with it. But if you, now that you do know what to do with it, and now that you do know you have the capabilities of teaching others, you may be able to open and be stronger this time, because a lion is a very strong, powerful animal. Okay. And then finally, we have the personal mantra to live by, which is also done with an oracle deck. So because I chose the unicorns, we will be reading from that. Imagine. What would you see, feel, think, and hear if your wish came true? So a mantra to live by. Imagine, you know, imagine. Open yourself up. Be who you are meant to be. If you actually got what you wanted, what would you do with it? Okay. If you actually, you know, what is the wish that you make all the time on your birthday cake candles? When you're blowing out the candles, what is the wish that you make? Because, you know, most of the time we wish for the same thing, thinking that it hasn't happened yet. What is it? So I feel like, as opposed to not just being a mantra to live by, but imagining is like, I feel like you want to learn to live in that gentle middle space, the gray space of imagination and reality. Not many people can do that. A lot of us are either very rational and we're realistic, where we just dwell in reality and we don't have a big imagination. There's people who live only in imagination, so they're just kind of in a, like, that dreamland state all of the time, and their rational or their reality is a mess because they're not focusing on it enough. And then there's the people that, like us, that we could kind of jump between the two worlds. And I think that that's something that you have a lot of capability of doing. I feel like you are naturally in tune. You're definitely, you know, a natural psychic. You're open. You have the ability to connect, to connect with beings that we can't see. But you have to want it. You have to want to do that, because if you don't want that kind of work and you don't want anything to do with that path, then, you know, you can close it up as well. The Starseed card, I think I'm feeling like we had that conversation about, you know, you wanted to always know if that was part of your thing. And it is. Everybody is. To an extent. I think you are meant to teach. That is definitely a big step, whether it's in this life or it's in your next life, but it's there. So it's a pretty powerful reading. Number 4 is definitely a big number for you. It came up quite a lot in the reading. So I would definitely look up, you know, the number 4. What does it mean? Does it mean anything to you right now? That kind of thing. I always associate number 4 as with angelic, you know, so angels, that kind of thing. So just something to think about. But it did come up a lot. It did in your reading. So I'm really excited. I'm interested to see if you're going to go the route of teaching, you know, if that's going to be your thing, if you're going to teach people how to open up, how to connect with spirit, that kind of thing. But if not, just know you are naturally a middle person. So if you always receive messages, it's because you are there. You are meant to be that person, the messenger. Also, if you find that you connect other people who maybe their relationship, their friendships broke up, but you still tend to be that person where you're in contact with both people, that's you. That's just natural. That is what your soul is here to do. But your soul is here always to be a messenger. So that's just the thing. That will always be your experience. So thank you so much for purchasing the Stardust reading with me. Anyone who's still watching, I apologize for the long video, but these readings tend to go pretty long. But if anyone is interested, it's available in my shop, so check it out. And I will see you guys later. Bye, guys.